Mite, Jesus's estimate of giving. Ooh. Verse 1. And he looked up and saw the rich men casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. And he said, Of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offerings of God, but she of her penury hath cast in all the living that she had. So you got the rich guy standing up in the church. Everybody honors him, like the example of my family. My mother's side, 9 children. 9 children. Very poor people. What does the Catholic Church do? They put her family name at the bottom of this list of the donors to the church. And so what happens? All the little kids point their finger at my mother and say, You're a poor, pathetic loser, and look at your fat parents. They're disgusting. They had diabetic problems and all kinds of other problems. But they pointed the finger at them and said, Oh, look at those, these are your parents, and look at how poor you are. You're pathetic, you loser, you failure at life. And then my mother, what does that stigma cause her to have? What do you think? What happens to me then? What do you think? So you dishonor the person who he was giving all he had, really. 9 kids. You don't really have much to spare with that, but he still was a devoted member of the church. But you dishonor him, and then you honor this pompous ass who's donating, 10 grand of his like penny jar or something, his that's just loose change that came out of my pocket because I make $25 million a second. I'm Jeff Bezos. I'm the ruler of this church. And you poor people, you're pathetic. 9 kids. What are you, bunch of rats? What are you? Never mind. You see the importance there of proportionality? If I said the word correctly. My grandfather on my mother's side, I'm sure he did all he could a lot of times, even though I point the finger at Catholicism a lot of times and I criticize them a lot, I bet he did a lot of good things. And I think I will meet my grandfather one day. And in fact, I look like him and I look like his descendants in a lot of ways. I look like that family. And I also have some of his traits too. But anyway, I forget what my point was. Yeah, proportionality. He gave all he had. 9 children. You don't have a lot of money or food or anything to spare, really. And you're trying to raise them and take care of them. And he probably still tithed to the church. Maybe he didn't have anything to tithe. Maybe he just gave a quarter or something. But that was still a tremendous amount when you consider how much money and food and resources you would need to take care of 9 children. 9 children. It's unimaginable. What a miraculous feat for them to have gotten through that. But then you have a pompous rich person who everybody honors him because he's given so much, but he's really given nothing. He's just a pompous, rich fool.